concerned are you about the outlook and your level of uncertainty? What do you see?
Well, what I see is that we just went through a pandemic. And I know we talked a lot during the pandemic for a couple of years, and it was tough for a lot of folks, including me and you. We're at home a lot of the time trying to run our daily businesses and make things happen. And the government invested a lot into the market, and now we're coming out of the pandemic. And I think those e-commerce charts that we see a lot are great metaphors. You know, the ones that go like in the pandemic, out of the pandemic. But if you connect e-commerce from 10 years ago to today, the chart is still quite up and to the right. It's just that you had 2 years in the pandemic. So I think the economy is normalizing, the world is normalizing, currencies are quite aggressively fluctuating. We've been talking about that since May. And I think, look, what do I know? This is my first pandemic. But in the future, I know that after a pandemic, you're going to have some adjustment period.
Right. Meta and Google are just the latest companies cutting jobs. I spoke to Tim Cook. He said Apple is going to be more deliberate about spending. Satya Nadella just told me today, we're going to do more with less. I know Salesforce slowed hiring a bit earlier in the year, but are you expecting any job cuts or cost cuts? What's your strategy to navigate this?
I think what you're seeing for all of these companies, including ours, is we all invested aggressively in the last 2 years, and we are absorbing those investments into our businesses now. So we have a lot online and moving forward, and we need to enable that and energize it and motivate it. So you're right, we did slow slightly our hiring, but do I see other changes? You know, who knows what's going to happen? It's certainly not our intention. Our intention is to continue to get to $50 billion in revenue by FY26. Last year we did $26 billion. This year we're going to do $31 billion. And by fiscal year 26, we want to do $50 billion.
You, of course,
probably going to hire some people along the way.
All right, we'll look out for that. You did a huge acquisition last year, Slack. The economy was humming. Now we're seeing Adobe signing an agreement to buy Figma for $20 billion. What do you make of them spending that kind of money in a downturn?
Well, I think every company has to choose their strategic moment and their strategic opportunity. For us in the last 5 years, there were 3 companies important to us to kind of achieve our strategic goal. We want to help companies connect with their customers in a whole new way, to build a customer 360. We want them to build a system of engagement, which is why we bought Slack. We want them to build a system of intelligence, which is why we bought Tableau. We want them to build a system of integration, a single source of truth, which is why we bought MuleSoft.
Are you going to continue to be acquisitive, especially as valuations come down?
We'll always buy companies. We've bought 60 companies. We'll always buy companies. But we have 3 companies, large companies that we've acquired. And a lot of the folks who are here, I just spoke to one from one of the large acquired companies, Tableau. They've never been to Dreamforce before because there wasn't really a Dreamforce occurring when we acquired, and closed Tableau. So this is an opportunity for all these new Salesforce employees. Half of everybody here who's a Salesforce employee started in the last 2 years. Think about
incredible.
That. You've been to Dreamforce before. I've been to Dreamforce. But half of all of our employees have never been to Dreamforce. So they don't really know who we are. They don't understand all of our values really well. They don't understand the customer excitement. They don't really understand how we operationalize our values into our business. This is their chance to really see it in action.
Speaking of Slack, how are you thinking about the Uber hack fiasco? Slack is this office in the cloud. They had internal Slack messages hacked. Do you worry about the security of Slack and all that office drama getting leaked?
Customers need to protect their passwords. It's hard. Customers also need to, teach their employees how not to be socially engineered. In all cases, those things are out there. And it's very unfortunate when something like that occurs. It's happened to all of us. It's happened to me. And I want to make sure that I'm helping customers to not suffer any kind of an issue like that.
San Francisco still hasn't recovered. Yes, this is great, but there are restaurants closed. Companies have left. They've sold their office space. Are you worried about the future of San Francisco? As such a great champion of this city?
I'm not, and I'm excited about the future of San Francisco, and it's right here. Whoa, it's right here. There's something here, a basketball. Somebody put a volleyball net behind me while I wasn't looking. The future of San Francisco is right here. And that means that when we bring in big groups like this, 40,000 people, we haven't had any major incidents here. It's been incredible success. All the restaurants are filled. All the hotels are filled. There'll be $40 million added to the local economy. I hope we're not the only conference scheduling in San Francisco. This is a lot better than Vegas. This is a lot better than Chicago. This is a lot better than Miami. Look at the weather. Right? You and I live here. We love it. We live it. We love it here, right?
San Francisco is
we love San Francisco. I know you do. You have a great office on the marina.
Okay, but
and it's awesome.
You know, Elon Musk, for example, had this poll on Twitter where he asked if he should turn Twitter's headquarters into a homeless shelter.
Yes.
Does that bug you? I mean, as kind of a representative,
I don't think we can take anything that Elon Musk is saying right now as evidence of anything. You know, he's got an agenda, so let's just let him play it out as he wants to.